now we're going to Karen Ross, who is the Secretary of California Department of Food and Agriculture, been in that position for now two governors, and done a tremendous amount of things that the crowd I hang with really have appreciated. And so you have similar goals. You're thinking about the same things that USDA is thinking about. And so how does this potential program fit in with your vision of what needs to go on?
So first, thank you for organizing this, and join me and saying thank you to Jenny for going to DC. Every time I see Secretary Vilsack, he says, thank you for referring Jenny to me, and you can see why, right? It's because of the great experience and the wisdom that she brought to CDFA that made her uniquely positioned to do exactly what she's doing. I'm going to say the vision is the same. As Jenny and I both know, as daughters of farmers, and she farmed and I let my brother do the farming, it has to really work for the farmers and the ranchers. They have to stay in business. There's so many things they do for society, but the cost structure of what they're under right now makes it critically important that we think about what will make it work for farmers and ranchers. And that's where Jenny's experience and having funding, so we do have to thank Congress and the President and Secretary Vilsack for being determined to make this happen. It wouldn't happen without that. So that's number one, and let's really build on what will work for the farmers and ranchers, and then what are the next steps throughout the supply chain. But at the end of the day, we can think up fabulous programs in state or federal government, and without the power of procurement, we have stood up a lot of programs because we knew what we wanted to accomplish, but we forgot a few important steps. And if there's not a market, if there aren't reliable contracts, if there aren't built-in buying systems of scale, and that's where I'm looking at my friend Diana from the First Partners Office. What we're doing, it's not the UC system, we're starting with kindergarten through 12th grade, very important place where farm-to-school program is really focused on what do the local, small-scale, mid-sized farmers and ranchers need. That'll keep local dollars flowing. What will improve the nutrition for kids in the schools? And with leadership from the First Partner, what is that experiential learning? What is that nutrition education so that we're creating consumers for life who understand what I eat today will mean healthy aging in every decade, and it will create better informed consumers because they understand where food comes from and what it takes to get it there. It's environmental and ag literacy and food literacy and nutrition literacy all combined. So what we have now is this extraordinary circumstance that doesn't happen maybe once in my lifetime, and I'm old, I've lived through a lot, and I know what have been the missing pieces in the past. One of them that we thought in the Obama administration when I was Chief of Staff, and Glenda Humison was the State Rural Development Director then, we put a lot of effort into small-scale processing, mobile I take that word out, mobile harvesting was really going to be the way, but you still need inspectors. You still need things that add cost, and you need throughput to actually make that pencil out for everybody else that's going to be a part of that food chain. We've leapfrogged ahead because of what happened in COVID in particular and supply chain issues that are still a little bit lingering. We figured out that wasn't enough, but it's hugely important. We passed, state law to allow more expansion of doing that kind of harvesting for small scale, but we're missing larger scale facilities that aren't the gargantuan conglomerates, and I don't want to use words prejudicially, but I just did, sorry. And we need to find what will create the numbers with profitability so people can stay in the business that will still deliver what people want. But I will say one of the learning lessons from having mobile facilities like that, it's allowed so much more custom work to really fill the needs of culturally appropriate foods. I'm thinking specifically of halal and of kosher as just two examples that are really important. So it's what we've learned. It's filling in those gaps, as you said, and it's really understanding. We may have, with the leadership from President Drake and others and the Board of Regents and everyone else, that's one angle. Hospitals and large-scale healthcare facility acquisition is another. But what is happening in our local communities with every school district being encouraged with incentives and with universal meals for kids? California was first. That's a pull-through that can make an incredibly large difference of what we want to achieve.
Great. Thank you very much.